What up, y'all? Welcome to NextMoodSwing. I guess this is like a Friday thing, so like it's like I feel like we have to like call it a different segment because like Fridays I just have my friends over and we just be talking. You know what I mean? We just got finished watching Pop the Balloon, which is crazy, and we're gonna get into it. But first, you already know we got Courtney Stewart in the building.
Hey.
And I'm so excited because all the way from Boston, you might have seen her on a couple shows on Netflix or whatever. We got Xanthi in the building.
Welcome.
Hey. She's out in LA. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you on the show.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Period. Okay, you guys. So I don't want to talk about Diddy this week.
Thank God.
At all.
We tired.
But I am just going to mention, because we did talk about it last week, though, that Jay-Z and Beyonce's lawyer made a phone call to the Piers Morgan, right?
Yeah.
Piers Morgan show, and was like, I'm going to need you to take Jaguar rights information out of your show. And Piers Morgan did it, and so now people are like saying this cease and desist, but that technically didn't happen, because if Jay-Z and Beyonce even send it to Jaguar Right personally, this was the perfect kind of thing for Jay-Z and Beyonce to be able to do. If they sent it to Jaguar Right, it's like, girl, what's Jaguar Right got that Jay-Z and Beyonce want or need? We're not going to acknowledge that.
Also true.
Boom. But all right, so beyond that, really, I've been watching lots of TV this week, and House of Villians is back. Have you guys watched it? Did you see the first episode? Shout out to Camilla.
Camilla's on it. And Tiffany Pollard.
Yeah.
My heart.
Wait, Xanthi, would you ever do House of Villains?
Okay, I so would, but I have not watched the new season yet. But you know I love a good villain.
Period.
I would eat, and I would be the bad guy proudly, though.
Okay. You got to know how to manipulate the house.
Yeah, you got to manipulate the bad guys.
Don't worry about what I do, all right?
Okay. And I'm happy Tiffany's back on there, because she had a great line. She walked up to Teresa and was like, girl, I've always respected your hairline on national
TV. Your hairline on national TV. And Teresa was like, yeah. We're like, girl.
But Teresa wasn't even...
Teresa kept her mouth shut?
Well, because honestly, I don't even think Teresa was listening to what she was saying. She was sitting there thinking like, I'm going to have to share a room with you.
Yeah.
I think that was in her head the entire time.
I don't think she understood what she was saying, because I love Teresa. I will always love Teresa since the table flipped. But she ain't know what the hell Tiffany was talking about. She was like, okay, yeah. You want to be in my room? Oh. That's another thing. But when she talked about your hairline, girl, and you just were smiling and nodding, like you had no idea. None.
I also want to say that Safari, I definitely feel like went to the Nicki Minaj show just to promote this show, because he went to the one right before the show dropped.
Makes sense.
And then all of a sudden we get the line on the show from, I forget what, Candy? Is she a drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race? And she was like, that's why Nicki Minaj dumped your ass. Like, so.
Leave it up.
Period.
Hey, smart marketing, honey. Do what you got to do for those checks.
Okay. Speaking of people doing things for checks. So yesterday I was just chilling with my homegirl, and we was having a nice little dinner. We was vibing, and Peacock went right into, we were watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Oh, yeah.
Which we'll get into that in a second. But that ended, and it went into Queen's Court. And I watched the first episode of Queen's Court last season with Evelyn. So I like kind of knew what the gist was, but this one had K. Michelle, and I love me some K. Michelle. And it had Delicious from Flavor of Love, and then also Lisa Ray. Which at first I was like, girl, what are you doing on this show? That was my first instinct was...
Checks.
She doesn't even need it, does she?
She needs some checks. Yes, her show on Fox Soul got canceled.
Yeah,
but wasn't she married to
she was married but divorced.
No, the president of Turks and Caicos. Like, excuse, you don't need it.
She does need it. She didn't get no settlement from that.
That's crazy.
She might have got a little cash, so she didn't talk about what he was doing, but she needs the money.
She went in there proud. Likes money. Yeah, she went there proud.
She likes money.
Okay. Well, so whatever. I'm down for all the girls. Delicious. I'm like, I feel bad for you, but like,
why you feel bad for her?
For what she been through in life, like the man she
having empathy.
I thought she was talking. I thought she was talking about some of that surgery.
Okay. Okay, that's really kind of actually, that's exactly what I was saying without saying, but like, yeah, like also like, I feel like also like, maybe it was the makeup, but if it was skin bleaching, like, I don't know, because, I don't know. But anyways,
Yeah.
either or, she's beautiful. All the girls are beautiful. Their outfits are killing it. Like, I was like, okay, let me watch this.
They do have some outfits.
They look like
I
they
just
go
want
the
to
Met
say,
Gala.
I need to know who the production company is, because I feel like whatever happened this season, casting and producers must have had some sort of beef, because the casting on this show, Zach, I was like, and the fact that K. Michelle and Delicious are like having any sort of raised tone argument over this man.
He's a preacher.
And
right? he adopted children. You know, so maybe he
the one that called the giraffe fool.
Oh my.
But he's like an authentic person.
Girl, he gives me Tiger King.
To them. I mean, well, of all of the dudes on there though, like, I mean, he's
He
like
was
the most.
low-key a little.
He kind of like.
I thought I'm team. Yes, I believe
He
he
gives
he's a
me.
little-
He
No.
wants to be
Explain
Tim
it.
Walz in like 10 years.
Right, in 10 years.
So-
So get him off the show. What are we doing?
They
This is
feel
crazy.
safe with him. That's why
I'm
he's
still
like,
sh-
yeah.
I'm still shocked that the poor guy likes K. Michelle. Love K. Michelle, but.
No, and then
Like,
she
you
like,
would not expect that.
but she continues to ask him on dates. Like it's
but,
like,
but why is she so mad?
and then Delicious is like, no, I'm gonna ask him on dates too. Like I'm here for love too. Like, and it's like, I know y'all lying. I know y'all lying.
But
Out of
you
all
think,
the guys
you
on
think
the
the
show,
producers were like, yo, go for the plain white dude, and y'all gonna fight.
well, I don't know, because then the second white dude comes in, and I'm like,
I wanna know
where's
who's
that?
winning.
Bring Zach back. Where's Zach? Because what is this man? This man looked like Tiny Tim. Like, hello.
Oh, not Tiny.
Looking
was
like-
it the game? What was it?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but
I'm
so
trying to
then
wrap
my
my
whole
head
point
around
of
it.
this also is, so I'm watching it, and then you see, and then before I even get to what the whole shocker of it was, the shocker on the show is Lisa Ray's daughter's ex-boyfriend is on the show,
Crazy.
and
so
then
stupid.
she goes on a date with him, and is like, oh, tell me what happened with you and my daughter. And he said, what did he say? That she had an
Basically, she got
abortion.
pregnant
And
and
he
had an
starts
abortion
crying
because-
on national television. You got this man to cry 2 times on national
Yeah.
television. And also to admit, because he really did say, I was like, bro, I felt bad for him, because he was like not someone who was meant to be on camera. But like, because like real people should not go on, like you have to know how to control a certain portion of your emotions to go on camera, because the way this man they got him to admit when she said, so could you see us happening? And he said, yeah,
Oh, embarrassing.
on national television.
His almost mother-in-law or
Almost.
grandmother. I can't.
Yes, girl.
He dated her for like a
What
while.
does the daughter have to say about this?
So
Is that a thing yet?
No. So after the first episode, I was like, "This is insane."
Go to
casting.
Twitter.
I'm like, the only way they can keep me for the second episode is if the daughter shows up at this point.
Please.
Like, so no. But then Lisa FaceTimes the daughter and was like, and then the daughter was like, she admitted it was true, what happened, and it was just crazy. I don't know. But so also what was really crazy though,
someone who
from my
dated
personal experience of
daughter.
this, is I'm watching this and I see Dr. Elon.
Oh,
And
child.
Dr. Elon, I was like, I talked about this a
I
few
don't
weeks
think he's
ago.
a real doctor. I think it's
Doctor.
lies. I think it's lies.
You think what's
I
lies?
don't know.
He ain't no doctor.
No,
He's
he's
giving a
a
little
dentist,
crazy.
which is a
Almost makes
doctor,
sense.
I guess. But it's like you're a dentist. Like I'm never like when the dentist comes in, I'm like, doctor. I'm like,
Well, Dr. Heavenly would
that's
be
how you
real
know.
upset about that.
well,
She is a doctor.
right. So that he's a doctor, right? Okay.
I just said he's not a doctor because he was getting on my nerves. but
Either
yeah.
or. So I watched Pop the Balloon, and on the show, he just came across. I told this story a couple weeks ago. He was the one that like told the girl about her health complications and like how he couldn't be with her because basically she was overweight, and he's on this show. And he's acting very different than he was acting on Pop the Balloon. And it's given, rumor has it, like, bro, you out here just for the camera, and this is the legacy you trying to leave on national television is crazy. Like, you look crazy on not only Pop the Balloon, but Queen's Court. Because Pop the Balloon really be showing people on another level, like,
Right.
as far as, like, I mean, but it's like when you think about dating today, right? On these apps, it's like you're just swiping left and right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's to yourself, right? Versus like us watching it live. It's the same thing. It's
But
kind
I feel like on Pop the Balloon, they make the decisions in 3 seconds, and it's the dumbest decisions they can make because of your nails, because of the way your feet turn out. Like, they don't even think about, at least when you're on Tinder, you're like, I can imagine something with this person. But when you're with Pop the Balloon, they just see something stupid, and they're like, no.
Yep.
And never mind when they want to come back to it. Forget about it.
Would you
They
guys
lose
ever
brain cells.
Would you guys ever do a Pop the Balloon after what you just watched today?
Absolutely not.
See, I kind of want to a little bit just to hear
You wanna
what
go
they
through
come
it,
up
huh?
with,
You wanna
just
go
because
through
maybe
it.
I'm a little bit of a masochist or something. But like, I feel like I'd want to know what they would say. Like, what would they come up with?
Do you even trust what they would have to say about
No,
you? Right.
but also I like a verbal altercation,
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't
She's like,
mind
I
a
like it a
verbal
little
sparring
rough.
moment to be like, oh, that's what you, because like Doctor whatever. We would have had words. Like, I would have had to say some things to that man.
Right.
Especially when he didn't pop the balloon on the little young
21
girl,
or
the
whatever,
21-year-old.
yeah.
After he's told everybody else they need all of this therapy and, like, working on themselves. And this little 20-year-old comes out that doesn't know anything about life or herself. And even what she wants. They asked her what she wants, and she was like, I don't know. He got to be fine. Which I feel you, girl, at 22. I ain't care about that shit either. But yeah, me and Doctor would have some conversation.
They just don't even get a second to get to know anybody, so all their reasons just sound like blah, 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 blah. And the doctor just sits there and thinks he's a philosopher, which makes it even more cringe because you're supposed to be a doctor. You're supposed to know what you're saying. He wasn't even,
You're supposed to care about
supposed
your
to think
patients.
through
like,
some
he
stuff.
wasn't really whatever.
He was not philosophizing.
That part, thank you.
Whatever that word is.
He was baffling, actually. Like, literally.
A mess. But
No.
also, that still is a pretty decent reflection of how most people behave now with dating. Like, you kind of just like, yeah.
But that's
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying. Like
people
this
give up
show,
fast
but
these
this show
days.
is
Yeah.
crazy to me because
It's-
it's the host. Again, shout out to you that you can keep a straight face with these.
That's true.
These because like the fact that you don't even want to stand up. Like I'm sure you do in your head. Like want to say something for some of these girls or even some of the men because the girls be roasting the men too. But like shout out to you. But like it's like. Off initial, like you could tell from a vibe if you have a line of people like, okay, there's probably not. But like the fact that then you have to have like this long explained answer is crazy to record that. Like and people be signing up
sign
to
of the
do it.
times.
It's so funny. It's where are we in the world of dating?
But that's what I'm saying. Do people actually care? Like, I don't know, for myself at least, right? If I'm going to go on a date with someone or if I'm going to try to get to know someone, there's going to have to be an initial connection or something. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's so unrealistic to even date that way because like you said, some of the girls' responses were like, I don't know, or like very brief, or you just can't get to know someone in 30 seconds. So for me, it's like if you're going to go on a dating thing, you might as well actually date. This is so unrealistic. And they get so rude.
Wait, but I totally need you to move over because
way?
you're like half out of
This
the
way?
thing.
Oh,
yeah,
this
this way.
Period.
Period. There
Not
we
used
go.
to being on camera or whatever.
It's all good. All right, so obviously you've been on a dating show before, and like you know how to navigate the whole like reality versus competition versus dating. First of all, from your experience, which was harder? Was it going on a dating show or going on a competition show?
Going on a dating show was one of the hardest things I actually did in life. Period. No. And listen, we've been through some stuff, okay? But going on a dating show was a whole other experience. It's like very weird. When you're in a competitive game, you're still like playing something, right? You're almost enjoying it in a sense. But when you go on a dating show, sometimes dating isn't enjoyable. So you're just wrapped up in this world that's almost you've been like warped into, and you're like living and breathing dating, and your emotions are so high, and it's just so exhausting. So when you get a second at the end of the night to just like chill, you can't because you're just going over everything that just happened over the day. So it's just an exhausting experience.
But how did you decompress from that after the whole experience? Like, because like obviously
I
like
hibernated. Goodbye. No one's gonna see me till the
Got
show
away
ends.
from all of
Goodbye.
this. Get me out of here.
No, but just dealing with that, like you said, that
Yeah,
mental
yeah.
fact. Because obviously,
Yeah.
like, just in life, dating is you be in your head. You're like, is this person telling me the truth?
Right.
Are they sitting over here? Are they, you know, what are they actually thinking? Are they selling me a story?
Right.
Like, so in life we think about that, right? So we already have those paranoias. But like, what was that experience like? Because obviously you went and it got heightened, right?
Right.
And that's like, yeah, you did the circle, but that's it's a competition
You know what
show,
you're getting
right?
yourself into in a sense, right?
But with this, it's like, you know what you're getting yourself into. All right, you're gonna go date people. You've dated people before, or
people
whatever.
come.
But like the emotional experience of like like everyone who's been on a reality show just understands life in a different way,
Yes,
and
I
it
agree.
almost can like cause people to go to the left,
Right.
or you can stay sane, you know, while doing it. But what was your experience leaving that experience and then like getting back into the real world, dating again,
Right.
and like being like, oh, wait a minute, you know what I mean, as far as like what you learned or noticed, like you just have a better perspective on.
Right. So dating on television for me in general was like very new territory. Like I never thought that would be something that I did. So for me, when you like you're normally dating, you like, or when you like someone and you want to go out with them, like, you know, you're giddy, you're this, you're hoping for the best. But when you're like on television, you have to like think like, is this going to be real? Is this going to work? Is this person being genuine with me? And you have to really do a lot of like self, you know, acknowledgement on what you are feeling, because there is a lot of, you know, like there's a lot of emotions, and then there's a lot of different types of people. Maybe some people that you're not used to, but you're like, hey, I'm in this space with you. Why not get to know you? We're here, right?
Give it a
Yeah, try
try.
something new. So, you know, you're all the emotions are just very heightened, never mind while you're dating, but while being on television. So when I went home, I kind of had like a mind switch a little bit. I used to be wicked conservative when it came to dating and like how I would do it. I know I was a very good girl. I'm still a little good girl, like, you know. But now I'm like, hey, like it's not, you don't need to just date one person. You can date multiple people, and like, you know, not saying have more than one boyfriend. But,
Unless you need
know,
to.
Unless you want to. But, you know, like, just, it's okay to get to know people that you wouldn't necessarily think, oh, you know, I'd date them. But now, maybe it's a smile, or maybe it's like the way they said something, or their mindset of a way of thinking about something that attracted you. And, you know, I just kind of opened up my sense
Shall
of...
open up.
Yeah, I
It's-
just opened
Open
up
up.
a little bit.
Because
But wait.
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, why did you want to do it to begin with? Like, what just to date on television? You're like,
Okay.
okay, this is a good idea. I want to do this.
Well, first of all, no man I've ever dated has ever even been like a social media person. So like I didn't even, like for me even to think about dating a reality TV guy, I was like, no way. But when they called me, I thought about it, and I was like, sometimes you got to step out the box, like we said. So I was just kind of like, okay, you know what? I've dated outside of reality TV. It hasn't been working. I'm 28, so I'm still young, but there's so many things to experience in life. I had the opportunity, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to still be me. Like, I didn't do a kissing challenge that was on the show or whatever. Like, I was the only one that didn't participate in it. But I was like, I'm going to go. I'm going to be me. And if people like it, great. If not, that's my reality. And sometimes people need to see just what's real, not necessarily what they always like or don't like. Yeah. Period.
So she got to play with some boys for a little while.
I got a little mini vacation or whatever.
She got a vacation, you know. She's cute.
Hey,
Body tan.
Tulum was cute. All right. Oh, okay. So like that is interesting, because it's like the hyper experience of dating, because even watching Queen's Court, we see, whether it's real or fake,
Ciao.
K. Michelle, or you just playing with everyone's emotions, with Zach, and the fact that she went on the show, and when she like was like, I'm done with Zach, and then Delicious saves Zach. So then Delicious asks him on a date, and then K. Michelle is like, wait, Delicious asked you on a date? Because K. Michelle asked him on a date.
Come back.
And so she got mad, and I understood why K. Michelle was mad. Well, didn't get mad. She was like, if you already choosing someone else, like, don't even worry about me. That was her energy.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I totally agree. Like, I'm like, I fuck with that. Why she said that? And my
real
homegirl was
life.
like, no, just they're on a dating show.
Exactly, they're on a dating show.
But Delicious was like, and I was like, oh yeah, because she went on Flavor of Love, so she gets that energy. K Michelle ain't never been on a show like this, so then to share guys and actually have to get to know, like, that's such a it is such a almost like a foreign experience, you know what I mean, to have to do in a house where
You're
you're
constantly
living with
learning.
people and seeing
Yeah, and new things about yourself. You know, like the way you'd act in the outside world sometimes wouldn't even be how you would act in the while you're filming, and vice versa. Crazy.
How do you feel about the age of like a lot of these people? Like even watching Pop the Bloom, when we were like one of the girls was like 22, or you know what I mean, like as far as going into like a show like this, like how do you guys feel about like, because my thing is like, obviously they Bachelor did the Golden Bachelor. It's like, that's too old.
See,
but, like,
I disagreed. Initially, I thought that was probably the age that you should do shows
How old
like
are they
this.
on Golden Bachelor?
Like 50 plus?
Oh, that's a little.
45 plus?
Just
I feel like 30s.
Because I feel like they're
Not that
actually
old.
looking for relationships.
But
Everybody
the
else
people
just
you
wants
should-
to be on TV for the most part.
But I feel like if you're really going to do it, the people you should be like matching are people in their like
late
late-
20s, early.
I would say
30s.
late 30s really is like the heavy set. And the reason being is like, if they're single in their late 30s, it's like that would be the time that they're looking like thinking like, okay, I'm heading
But
into
they'll
my
do it, like,
40s,
out the
like all right, I
box.
want to settle down. Like
Maybe.
early 20s, when I
I
think
don't
about me in my
It was a
early
party
20s,
in early
even though I thought I
20s.
was in love in my early 20s, like please.
You know when they put like a 21-year-old, 22-year-old on the show, it's not going to be real.
You're there for
Like,
fun.
You already know.
Exactly. Like I can't. All right, so I'm gonna go through some dating questions for you guys. I want to see what you guys think. All right.
Go on. Oh, go
So
on,
what
it's
would
right.
you guys say is a dating red flag that you think is often overlooked?
Ooh.
Like what's something that you think people just accept a lot in dating in 2024?
Okay, I have one. People not reciprocating just the tiny things, like, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm good. People will be like, oh, so what did you do today? I did this. Okay, so when you did
That's
that, were you
good.
having fun? Yes.
Xanthi.
People just like continue the conversation. They're like, oh, they're just not texting. No.
Yeah.
No.
No, but
So
that's.
that.
I feel like
I
that's
feel that.
communication. I feel like people don't know how to actually connect and communicate.
Yeah.
And that's why I hate texting, because it's like do you see who I like? You see my animation and the tone of my voice. You need to hear what I'm saying.
FaceTime me,
Like
baby.
I'm not doing no. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, well, it's gonna be a FaceTime. Like we're
That's
not
funny because I'm the
texting.
oldest one here, and I'm like, please text me.
Text me. Hey.
Please
Because I need
text
to
me.
like see the emotion.
I mean, on a certain level, yes, I agree. You want to talk sometimes, but I totally agree. Like, not returning energy is important.
Yes.
Like, if you're putting energy out, like, and I feel like there's this like trend of like trying to be too cool to give too much
Oh,
energy.
God.
Like, you don't want to seem too invested and too caring about anything. So, like, I feel like that's happening a lot. But I feel like you can return some energy over text, like you said. If you said, "Hey, what's up? How you been?" and you just say, "Fine."
right.
That's not a return.
But I
energy.
feel like that's
it's
just
like
a-
I haven't seen you all
But
day. What does
that-
fine mean?
That's a big thing though, like people just being chill, cool. Like they're like almost scared to let other people know that they care about them. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean you're in love with me. It just means you
Exactly.
care about me as a person, as a human, you know? But that is a big thing right
Yeah.
now. Like everyone has their pride and their ego.
But it's pride and ego, but I also think it's like low-key people, again, go see a therapist, why people don't have that understanding of emotion. And it's like anxiety is so normal, like social anxiety, being in a situation where something that makes you like feel a certain way. It's like you can like somebody but have the conversation with them, and like people be so scared. We're watching Pop the Bloom, where it's like we're saying this stuff is like crazy for them to say in this short moment, but it is their truth that they're saying it, right? But it's like there's a nicer way to do it that you can actually build a connection with people. And I feel like
You are fat.
I don't know. I feel like people don't know how to actually connect, like just in general, even in friendships, right? It's like I could just walk down the street or like call a friend that I haven't spoken to in a while and be like, hey, they'll be like, hey, how are you? They want me to say good. But if I don't say good, or like you ever get a DM on Instagram from someone that you kind of know and they're like, hey, how are you? And you're like, I could say good. Everything's great.
or you
But
could
what if
tell
I
them the real
actually
thing.
tell
Right.
you,
Tell you
how I am?
actually
Right.
am.
And it'd be so funny because I have done that, and this is really will leave you on red. Like, oh, I wasn't trying to do all that, girl.
Done too many times, all set. Like you only need that lesson learned one time to never do that again.
Okay. Have you ever ignored a red flag and regretted it later?
Yes.
What was your red flag?
I wanna know.
It's okay for me. It was a red flag. Well, I think it's a red flag in general, and it should be. Someone I dated in the past was very. Don't get me wrong. Let me say this. I'm a huge family girl, very family oriented, but you also have to have your own life. You know, like you have to have your independence. And what this one person I was dating was very dependent on his family to the point where it was like controlling his lifestyle. And like in the beginning, I was like, okay, that's cute, haha. 2 years later, it wasn't that cute. So, that had to go. But yeah, that was that. Like, you gotta see people for who they are, like, right away.
Courtney, what you got?
I don't think I have. Like, because I don't really like nobody.
That's
like,
true. Well, actually, now knowing you're dating.
I'm the serial monogamous. Like, I've had a few very long-term relationships, and like they've ended usually because of me. So maybe I'm the red flag.
Period. She waves it. She waves it.
I might be the red flag, but yeah, I'm living in my Taurus energy since I was very young. So I'm very like, people are who they are. You accept them where they are, and like, if it don't vibe with me, it don't vibe with me, and that's okay. And it's happened a few times. There's people that wanted to date, but I was like, that's not gonna work, and I knew fairly quickly, and I don't entertain it beyond anything, because getting stalkers sucks.
Yes, it does.
Have an experience the other day,
That can
knock on wood
happen.
somewhere.
It's not great. It's
Dude,
not
that's
great.
not
That's
great,
why you have to
sorry.
be like, we not.
The way she looked, I felt that in my soul. She's like,
On my
just by the
soul.
way.
It sucks. But yeah, so yeah, I'll call myself the red flag, perhaps, for the guys out there that would.
So
Be
a
like,
lot
they
on
should've
Now they're
Twitter.
gonna all be in your DMs.
On Twitter, I seen this thing where the guy said that a red flag for him is like talking about past relationships early on in like conversations. So like, and I've heard that before. Like, people be like, "Don't tell me about your ex." Da, da, da. I'm total opposite. Like,
I think that's
what?
weird.
I need to know your story.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Right.
we're gonna share. Like, I want to know. Like, because if I'm talking to you, it's like,
It seems like there's a healthy way to talk about
Yeah,
your
like,
exes. Like,
no
there's
trauma-
obviously the
trauma
crazy way.
dumping.
And
that
you
would
can
be
tell
like,
when someone's still bothered, rather than
Exactly.
just telling you, this was my past experience. This is how I would like to move
For
forward.
again,
sure.
Queen's Court.
You know,
Yeah, but there are definitely jealous people that be like, I don't want to hear nothing about your ex, and then
like, baby, I want to know everything about you.
then that's your red flag.
me
Get
everything.
away.
tell
I
me.
want to know how you treated your ex, why you left, like, or why
she
they left.
Right, or right.
Have you guys? Well, I know Courtney. I don't think you have.
Uh-oh.
Xanthi, have you ever had a virtual date like during like COVID? Did you ever go like date someone just off video? Have you ever had a long? Because I have. I'm not
First of
gonna lie.
all, the way she was, I know you haven't, but Xanthi.
Actually, I have, but
yeah,
go
and
on.
actually, I haven't. Thank you. So
I was just
read
asking
on
because
that.
well, Courtney, this is a
Go
new
ahead.
story
It was
for me.
very
So read on
short-lived,
that.
obviously, which is why you don't know about it. Like, well, I'm sorry. What was the question? Was it just that did I have a virtual date? Yes, I have.
And how did that go for you?
It was cool.
Do you feel like you could actually connect to the person in a way like?
Yeah, I can. I feel like I can connect with you if you are open to connection. If we're talking, like, so a glass of rosé over Zoom works wonders. It was fun. It was cool, but this person, I just
Didn't make it out of COVID.
didn't make it out of. But it was fun. Like, we had great conversation. We were on for like 2-3 hours. It was cute.
It was COVID.
Okay, so
was
obviously,
bored.
Oh, period.
Wanted
so
some
like
entertainment.
okay, so with dating apps, right?
Uh-huh.
So we're now moving into a world of new things. So what was new was like, Tinder, but you know what I mean, like those dating apps. That was a new thing that we experienced in life, and we had to get to swiping and reading people's profiles, like their cereal boxes, and make a decision off that. So like now we're moving into this world of like VR, right? So
can't.
there's the metaverse.
Here we go.
I can't meet you in the metaverse.
Would you guys?
I just can't do it.
Would you guys ever make an avatar to go into the metaverse for a dating platform?
I'm just trying to understand this question.
You can't tell me
Oh, no,
that's
I
what
get
not.
it.
You
I
know
just
that's
don't
where they're
get
going
it.
next. Come, like you
Would
don't
I
think they will do
ever
that?
just repeat the question just to make sure I heard it correctly?
Would you ever make an avatar? Like again, have you ever? Well, actually, let me ask you that. Have you made a Tinder? Any dating? Have you ever been on a dating app?
No, never.
Okay.
Okay,
Period.
girl.
I'm an old-fashioned girly.
Courtney, have you?
Yes, Isabel signed me up for like 3 apps at one point. And
How was the app experience?
I'm a
for you?
terrible person to be doing apps ever.
Same.
Like now I'm taken, so I'm not saying I'm
she's
on the apps right now,
Canadian.
child.
Woo.
I'm just you know. But when I was like, I would swipe, I'd have conversations, and then I would ghost, and not on purpose. It's just kind of like I don't think about it, and then I just I was supposed to and it's bad. So I'm the red flag. Shouldn't have been
Standing
there.
on it.
But I
There's
had
proof
some
in the
good
pudding.
conversations on the apps. I've had a few good conversations, but then like it just didn't. There was one that I actually like had phone conversation and really extended, but I think I ended up ghosting on the phone after a while because I'm weird. I like to be by myself.
And they move fast, right?
mean,
Like
I feel
dating
it.
apps, from my understanding. Like again,
Oh,
there's a ghost.
that happened the last time.
There was a ghost. They move pretty quick, right? Like if
Yeah.
you maybe talk for like a day or two, and then they're like, let's go on a date. Doesn't it kind of work like
Some
that?
of them are like because like when they're aggressive like that, they're like, "Ooh, I want to meet you in person so that I know that you are real." And I'm like, "No, we still
Like, how do I know
talking."
you're
Like
real?
we've only had like 2 exchanges on the app. Like I can't, and I don't even want to give my phone number. Like it's
No,
weird.
but that's the
Okay.
thing is like what I noticed with like apps and like I obviously you guys wouldn't even understand this, so like I gotta have this whole conversation with gay people. But like okay, but in general, people do expect things on a crazy level now. Like I was talking to my homegirl the other day and she was just like, yeah, I don't respond to people when they call me back because I really am trying to go back to like when I had a landline. Like people feel like they have access to you in like an insane way. And it almost is like creates a paranoia within themselves because of their anxiety. It's like, bitch, it's been 20, 30 minutes. Like I ain't talked to you. Like, you know what I mean? So we're moving in this like weird energy of like trying to understand that, like what that is. Girl, I'm sorry, I got high and then I like lost train of thought, to be honest with you. But
Jesse is. Yeah.
I got high. Sorry, guys.
Talking about dating apps.
But yeah, so anyways,
that
I
was
don't know
not
where I was going
fun.
with that, so we're just gonna end it right there with
But we
that
were in the
one.
virtual reality. I want to know if she's gonna go and put on some VR glasses with her avatar and walk around and meet.
Oh yeah,
some
because I was
Ians.
explaining the question to
You
you.
gonna
She
meet
still
some
doesn't
Ians?
even understand
No,
what.
I can't. Absolutely no. Listen, now we got it after your little ramble. But I don't think I could. No, I have to see you in person, feel like something, and then want to talk to you. I can't.
But you can
Period.
feel them in the
I can't.
metaverse with your
And
avatar.
Also, especially me doing social media full time, I know people aren't who they say they are all the time on
Those
on
facts.
the internet.
There you go.
I don't trust it. I have to see you in person.
Period. And then you're like,
Because your
look,
avatar
look
be
the
all
profile
fine.
on the circle was enough.
Right.
Moving on. So I was on a phone call with the homegirl the other day, switching from dating to friends, right? And like obviously Xanthi, you know, you're known as the girl's girl.
Period.
You're always looking out for your girls. She said to me, because we were talking about somebody, and but she said to
cannot be
me, she
mentioned.
was like, you know, something that I learned. She was like, is that if someone doesn't have the same sex friends, I have to question them as a person. And that was
Okay,
just really
gotcha.
interesting to me because, like, me and my other homegirl were talking about, like, in the gay world, I don't know if that counts because, like, gay people be fucking. But, like, girls ain't trying to fuck. You know what I mean? Like, in
Well,
the girl
some are,
world, like,
child.
mean girl world, right? So what do you guys think? Do you feel like, as far as, like, picking your friends and, like, looking for red flags in friends, just like we look at red flags in friendships, right? Like, if you saw a girl and she didn't have girlfriends, is that something? Do you ever take that as like a warning flag or?
See, as a woman, I think it's tricky, right? Because you never want to put people in a box and be like, oh, if you don't have girlfriends, then you know you're a mean girl. You don't want to put people in a box. But I think it is definitely a little bit of a red flag in this day and age that there's so many different types of people in this world that, come on, you have to have one type of friend. Is it a red flag for me necessarily? No, but I could see how it could be a red flag for some for some people.
Mm-hmm. Like I just heard the conversation, so she brought it up to me. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I can see that there's some. I can give grace for some women that have had difficult relationships with women,
Right.
because that's a thing. Like, and I know that it can exist. I would think it's a little strange if you don't have at least like one good homegirl.
Right.
Like, but I also get it, like, because obviously we live in this, Instagram world where it's like, all my homegirls, and I got like 18 bridesmaids, and then
there's,
my
like, no
girls trip.
friends, right.
Like, I'm not that chick. I got like 3 good friends, and 2 of them are girls, and it just happens to be that way. But like, so I get if you don't have a lot of girlfriends, because there have been some women that have had bad experiences with other women, and that's just a fact, and it sucks, but it's true. So I can understand why, especially if they had it young, like some girls had teenager stuff with girls that
Right,
they
you
kind of
never
never
know.
worked
Trauma,
through, and
right.
and it sucks, but I understand why they have mistrust for women. But I'm not that chick, but I get it can exist. So I'm trying to give like grace for that, but also I can be a little suspicious because a lot of times some girls will be like, I can't deal with women. I'm a guy's girl. I'm not a girl's. And it's like, that's because you be fucking on your friends' boys.
Oh.
Yeah,
Like
but-
that's, I mean, that's usually what it,
Like, it's just not giving girls girl, and if you like that's not what it's giving.
or it gives pick me. Like,
Pick me,
I
that's
can
a
be
good
cool
one.
with all the guys, but I can't be actually having
Right.
good relationships with the women because you always feel like you're in competition. And a lot of times those are the women that gave other women bad experiences with women.
Yeah, that.
But yeah.
I will say though, if a straight male, for me, this is a red flag. If a straight male has all female friends, that for me is a red flag.
I agree.
Yeah, that would just sound
I have
like
a
which
problem.
is
For
so
me, would be a
crazy
little bit of a
because
red flag.
Yeah.
what about the other opposite way?
It's hard because
If a girl had only guy
And I
friends?
say straight male because 99% of the time, if you have all girlfriends, you're either a pick me
yeah.
or you's a
Dr. Elam.
you a hoe.
period.
You
You
a
Dr.
hoe.
Elam, thinking you know everything.
Yeah. But I think this is one time that a little sexism is okay because I think women,
Yes.
even though like I think it's crazy if you only have guy friends, but if you have a lot of guy friends, in some instances it can be possible that you are just cool with the dudes.
Yeah.
Like there's many dudes that I've been cool with that I've never slept with
Right.
ever.
Right.
That is usually almost, I would say like with women, that's probably like, if they're saying I've never slept with them, it's probably 98% the truth. With dudes, I got all these girlfriends, I've never slept with them. They're lying.
Right. Right.
They're usually
My
lying.
point proven. Period.
So, I mean, it's a double standard, I guess. But yeah,
Everything's situational. It definitely depends
for
on
sure.
like,
Everybody's different.
yeah, for sure. But if, just looking at the basics, it's
Yeah.
definitely a red flag.
What about friends and exes? Can you be friends with your exes?
Oh, I'm friends with a lot of my exes, so I'm the wrong person. to
Okay,
ask.
so I
with
forget
all
what
of
I
my exes.
what I said to somebody the other day. But
And I've
like-
gotten shit about that in the past.
about what?
Being friends with my exes.
Yeah,
yeah,
both
you
of
would.
us.
Well, I mean, tell me? Tell me how you feel.
It depends. I think on what you go through in life, and if you built a friendship at first. Like
I'm
one
gonna
of my
shut it all down,
ex-boyfriends
so go
was my
ahead.
best friend.
Yeah.
So
You said
and
your ex is your best friend.
one of my ex-boyfriends was like my best
Crazy.
friend.
What do you mean was? So that was
Well,
never your best
let
friend?
me tell you. Let me explain.
That was never your best
To the
friend, honey. If
point
they ain't
where
here, I don't
we've
see them in
been
the room.
through- Listen.
I don't see them
You
in the
ain't heard
room.
no
Sometimes
more.
you go through real life situations, and just as human beings, it connects you in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So that we've been through. And then there's just some people in life, whether they're your soulmate or not, that just get you.
Yeah.
And to me, your best friend isn't someone you hang or talk to all the freaking time. But I know that if I'm in trouble and I call this man at 4:30 in the morning, he's dropping or waking up and coming to get me. So for me, that's like best friend material. So
Okay.
you know
I
what I mean?
100% agree.
It depends on life situations.
Yes. I 100% and 3,000% agree. And I think there are healthy boundaries that you can draw.
Yes.
So that your current person doesn't feel a way about friends with your ex situation. But I think it shows maturity if you've loved somebody for a really loved somebody, and really, like you said, been through stuff with somebody, that doesn't end because
Right.
the relationship didn't work
Right.
in most situations. Obviously things happen and all kind of crazy stuff, but I haven't ended relationships for the most part on super negative notes. like in terms of nobody cheated or, you know, major
Right.
betrayals and stuff like that. So those people are still people that I love and care about and want good for. So I can't imagine a world where I would just be like, never speaking to you again. Like, you're not my...
I guess we gotta talk about like what friendship is, because like, I mean, friends, like I mean, first of all, I'm a horrible picker. Like, I'm horrible. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I've ever liked you, like, something's wrong with you, because I'm a horrible picker. But I will say, I'm cool with him, but like, okay. Let me ask you this. I felt like it was work creating the boundary of like, no, like, please don't try in 2 years from now. Like, it's not, like, you're cool, I have no harm for, like, I wish the best for him, but like, no. And for like 7 to 12 years, it was like every year get the phone call and we know we can get back on the site, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So I feel like it was work. Now we're in a great place. Like, but would I call him my friend? Like, again, if I called him and needed him, if he called me and needed me, it would depend on what the situation was, to be honest, because also, again, great guy, crazy. But like, I don't know, like what is friendship to you? Like, as far as like, you know, like, are you just friends with, like, I guess exes versus people you sleep with? Like, could you be friends with someone you're dating?
Well, all of my exes I slept with, so I don't know how to...
No, you're dating someone and they're friends with, like, it was like, oh, we fucked for a little bit, and like, but now we don't fuck anymore. But like, not dating, but just fucking, like.
See, it like goes back to like your boundaries. So like me single going to hang out with my ex, like, just not even on some like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with my ex, but just to be like, okay, we're gonna go grab lunch, we're gonna catch up. I probably wouldn't.
No, but like, I'm saying total new, you go on a date with a new guy that you met the metaverse. You went in the you made an avatar, you went on the
like already red
metaverse,
flag.
and you meet fucking Tom, and you go on a date with Tom, and he's friends with, like, he has girlfriends that he's fucked before, but they don't fuck anymore. Like, they got men now, they're married.
So they're like friends that used to just be fuck buddies.
Yeah.
It depends on this. Like, if they're making money together or like they have something together, okay fine, maybe. But like, there has again, depends on everybody. But
Yeah.
Period.
And I think your partner like has to make that okay for you. Like,
Right.
if there's something like that feels a little weird about them going to the same place every time or whatever, like, and you should feel free to express that and be like, I don't really like that. And if they acknowledge that and adjust in some way for that, then it can work. Like,
I'm
I don't
thinking none of my exes would ever let me be friends with anyone. I'm like, yeah, right, I date crazies. What am I saying? The minute I get into a relationship,
You're like,
the friendship's done.
Okay.
oh, nobody, you're mine.
I'm like, you right.
You're
Because
mine,
I'm
you're
trying to
mine.
think none of my ex-boyfriends would have ever let that slide.
Like, yeah, because you wouldn't, like, and you, just like anybody that you used to date, if you're dating somebody new, you're not going to be like blatantly like doing inappropriate shit with people you used to fuck around with.
Right.
Like,
And
you're,
also, you probably
it's
won't
respect.
bring them around.
No,
right
exactly.
away,
You're
know?
like,
well, he's into it.
if you respect other people,
Give me my time
you're like,
a little
hey,
bit.
he might be here tonight. Just kidding. But anyway, yeah, it's possible. All things are possible. Love is love, child.
Yeah, in situational.
Respect is also respect, because love is respect.
Yeah, amen.
So like, if both of those are working together, then some of this conflict over, oh, that used to be somebody you slept with and this, that, and other, because that's just like, I mean, look, I'm old, like, we dating people that used to be married and shit. So like, they might have kids. Like, you're gonna have to learn how to deal. The healthy way to deal with those things requires some interaction, usually from your current partner, that might make you uncomfortable.
You're right,
So you gotta
respect.
learn respect and how to respect each other and treat people the way that you want to be treated.
But okay, so again, going back to the balloon thing, like, to wrap this all up, right? Like, these people go on this show. Like, when you think of love, to me, what love is two people. Love is like a job. It's a work. Like, it's not just like,
Ooh,
oh my
child.
God, hey, like, oh my God. I like, for the longest time, I thought love was like Disney. Bitch. Like, I thought, like, you just meet the person you like, And you like, but then I really thought about like my parents have been together for 50 years. Like, it's like, no, like they 40 years, they're going to be like.
I was like 50. I'm like, that's you younger than me. My parents are 47 years, so I know your parents can't be 50.
Oh, no, they 40-something. They almost at their 50th, though,
Yeah.
for real.
Amen.
Shout out to John and Connie. But like, it's work. Like, you know what I mean? And like, I feel like, I guess to like I look at Pop the Balloon, it's interesting to me. Like at first it made me mad, but then watching it I was like, but this is like really where we're at in life. Like this is reality. This is what dating culture actually mentally is. You know what I mean?
some.
And like, and yes, I'm getting old, and so
For
I'm thinking
some, you
about this stuff, guys,
guys.
because I ain't never thought about it before, for real. Like I was just out here, you know what I mean? Just oh my god, in love.
Just like that, huh?
Like,
And
no,
he was,
where
he
is
was,
my
child. He
man,
was in
husband?
love.
That's what we
He
need,
was.
right? Like, pop the balloon. So in that aspect, like, I think it's just so interesting to watch it play on. That's why I think the YouTube, I'll watch that for like, I will go down a wormhole of watching Pop the Balloon because it's fascinating. More fascinating than Queen's Court, even though Queen's Court is funny, but I know how produced it is. And I think what I love about, honestly, love and hate about it is that it's not produced. It's like this, you getting raw people, raw emotions. And yeah, know what I mean? So
to a degree, because I feel like it's also self-produced.
Well, yeah,
and
'cause
them
Dr.
dudes
Elon
are,
was
like,
went
coming
up-
up with stuff just to.
Well, they know what they're doing when they
They
get in
know
front
what
of
they're
that
doing.
camera, right?
We've lived a generation of
Yeah.
reality TV and getting
It gets
camera
worse and
time.
worse.
Yeah, so they know what they're doing.
okay, so what would be your number one tip to somebody who's out there dating online or in person? Like, how do you guys, leaving the note, what would the note be for what you should, green flags that you should look in dating in 2024?
I guess my 2 cents would be your whole self and only accept where that is loved. Like, don't bend and shift into what you think you're supposed to be for somebody, or they have this kind of job, so maybe you should act like this. And like, people get all weird about like, just be what you are, and if the love is returned, then it's returned and y'all got a vibe. But if you're not being your whole self and not being, you can't be afraid to be vulnerable.
Right.
And being all of yourself is extremely vulnerable. So like, obviously I ain't saying like on your first date, like give them all the crevices and darkness and everything. But at some point you got to be willing to, like, if you actually want to be with somebody, you got to be willing to be all of you and only accept that in return. Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, he does this for me, so that's okay. Well, no, because he's also emotionally unavailable to you. So when shit goes left and you can't get the support you need, then you realize, oh, snap, this isn't how this works. So that's my 5 cents. My
Need a
nickel.
grown
That's my
man.
nickel.
There we go.
Xanthi, what you got?
Oh, mine's much more. I'm like, she gave that. If I came from experience, you're like,
That's
you
because
know
I'm
what
old.
I mean?
Y'all young
But
and
you've
cute
had
and
experience.
fresh,
And I'm like, oh
honey.
yeah, but my thing is just more like, be open to accepting good things that come your way. Don't
That's
take it too
great.
serious if it doesn't work out, and don't forget, if it doesn't work out, throw the fish back in the pond because there's plenty more.
There's a lot of.
Period.
And that's
I
all.
like that. Not the
What?
scarcity idea. Like this idea that there isn't enough and there we won't find
Yeah.
somebody. There's a lot.
Period.
It's a lot of trash, but it's also a lot of good.
But there's so many. You gotta.
Yeah.
There's, you know, the hard is the bad. Hard, like the shitty ones are easy to find. The good ones are hard. So you gotta keep
true.
digging.
What I will say
swimming.
on a positive note,
Shovel.
what I do appreciate about technology and this world that we live in is that, like, can you imagine, like, back in the day, like, not back in the day, because I'm from back in the day, but, like, back in the day, when I used to say back in the day,
Were we talking about 70s, 80s?
girl, like, when, like, you dated people that were like, hey, like, I walked down the street and met you. Like, I didn't know how to reach
Jess wants to
the...
live back in the day.
I do not want to live
Bring it
back
back
in
to
the
the
day.
1900s.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, because I'm, like, grateful. My man was not on Cape Cod, honey. Like, I damn well knew
He's like, I
that.
would have never found him on Cape Cod.
You know,
Ooh.
so, and that meant, I feel like that's a positive of online dating, is that it does, like you said,
Open the
there is
pool.
no scarcity. You know what I mean? Yeah, we feel like it because it's like you're picking what's around you most of the time. But when you actually are like understand what you want and what you are actively going out to seek, it's like everything has to be with attention. You know what I mean? And put that feeling out there. And so that's the positive that I say about technology in 2020.
It opened the pool.
Period. Boom. Courtney, where can everyone follow you?
Oh my God, it's over so fast. I'm hot.
I'm so hot. I need to turn the AC. I'm not gonna lie. I have to turn the AC on because I'm gonna die.
I'm like, Jesse is probably suffocating normally. It's a tundra in his apartment. What is the question? Oh, you can find me on that Instagram at Stuart Starlet, where I've been for 800 years.
She's still thinking about popping the balloon.
I'm
dead. Xanthi, how about you, girl? What you working on? What we got going on? Like, where can everyone follow you? Like,
Instagram and TikTok at Xanthi Johanna.
Okay.
Period. Same
She
handle.
out here. And then you guys can hit me up everywhere at NextMoodSwing. Xanthi, thank you so much for coming
guys
on.
for having me.
If Tiana's back here
you.
next week, we gotta have you back in.
A whole
and
party
talk
with
us.
Tiana. Oh
That's
my
what I'm saying. Like,
God.
because
That's
Tiana,
gonna be so fun.
girl,
Look at
where were you? You know what I'm saying? All right,
I thought
thank
she
you guys.
was here.
You
Sorry.
said what?
I thought she was here, and I was upset that she's gone again. Sorry.
So soon,
You know.
and that's why we be talking shit about her. Just kidding.
Real
Love you.
friendship.
And then, you know what I mean? Until next week, same time, same place. Peace.